Have you ever wanted to start working out but you're lost on where to start? There's a ton of beginner programs out there, but a lot of them seem either too complicated or they don't seem to work. I've got really good news for you guys. Today, I'm going to show you how you can build your own beginner program. This way, it also gets you learning about bodybuilding and exercise in general while putting you on a framework that's going to build long-term success. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrew Fillion, and today I'm showing you guys exactly how you can build your own beginner program using a set of key principles that can apply to all different types of training styles, whether you're trying to do traditional weighted lifts or if you're trying to even go for body weight or calisthenics. These core principles are going to help you develop muscle no matter what your goals are and what your angle of approach is. So when it comes to building a program, we want to make sure we're engaging every single muscle group. And how we do that is by categorizing by movement patterns. There's going to be 6 primary movement patterns that you can use across the board to build your entire body simultaneously. These 6 categories are as follows. We've got a vertical push, a horizontal push, a vertical pull, a horizontal pull, a push from the legs, and a pull from the legs. With these 6 muscle groups, we're hitting everything. When we're talking about horizontal push, it's going to be mostly working your chest and triceps. A vertical push will be working your deltoids and also the triceps. Now, likewise, a horizontal pull be working mostly the rhomboids, the trapezius, and a little bit of the teres major and minor. Those are advanced muscle groups. Don't worry about that if you're just starting out. A vertical pull is going to work the lats and, of course, the biceps. So the biceps do get worked in horizontal pulls as well. When it comes to a push from the legs, that's going to work your quadriceps and your calves. A little bit of the glutes and a little bit of the hamstrings, but mostly the quadriceps. And a pull from the legs is going to work your hamstrings and also the calves as well, including the glutes. So by combining these 6 movement patterns, we can hit the entire body. Now, when we want to build a program, it's ideal for us to pick things that complement each other. I'll give you some easy examples here. If I'm going to be doing a push day, it could make a lot of sense for me to combo up chest and shoulders. If I do chest pushing horizontal and shoulders, pushing vertical, I've got 2 muscle groups that are working in good synergy with each other. But there's other things that you can do as well to make this even more interesting. You could actually use unlike movement patterns as complementary workouts. Another example of this would be the horizontal push. So we've got chest and triceps. We combo that up with horizontal pull. That's going to be doing biceps, traps, rhomboids, and the teres major and minor. Why is this awesome? Well, they're complements by being opposites. If you look at a bench press is actually the same exact movement pattern as a barbell row. It's just the resistance is in reverse. So with a press, I'm going outward. With a pull, I'm coming inward. But if you go on a cable machine and you try this for yourself, you can actually see the range of the motion is exactly the same. So these are great to combo up together if you're trying to build a mind-muscle connection. The same applies for the vertical rows and vertical push as well. If I'm trying to really hit the shoulders, doing a shoulder press like that gets me really well engaged, builds that mind-muscle connection. Now imagine you're from up here. Instead of having the weight in your hand, now you're trying to really crunch it down, and you get that lat pull down. It's really going to hit your lats real hard and the biceps. So this is a good example of where opposites can attract. But typically, I think it is better for beginners to pick things that do complement each other. So if you're just starting out, I recommend as a very basic protocol to combo up your horizontal push and your vertical push together. From there, you want to have a day where you've got your vertical pull and your horizontal pull. Now, legs can be a little bit interesting. If you go too hard on your quads, you may not have enough energy for hamstrings and vice versa. This is especially true for people that want to be doing deadlifts and squats. I don't recommend deadlifting and squatting on the same day, but if you're going for hypertrophy, and hypertrophy basically means that you are going for maximum muscle size, not necessarily maximum strength, it's okay to work the quads and the hamstrings in the same day, especially if you're using isolation movements like a leg extension and a leg curl. Ideally, I'd like to have legs be their own separate day entirely without any other muscle groups, mostly because the legs are already such an intense muscle group to work out. Now that we know we have the 6 basic movements, where do we go from here? You have a lot of options. So in just about any situation, you're going to have a barbell, dumbbell, a kettlebell, or some sort of cable pulley. By combining all 4 of these, you can end up with dozens of workouts for just one muscle group. Typically, what I like to do is rotate through a wide variety of similar motions with different equipment to find out which one I have the best mind-muscle connection with. If you're just getting started with a bench, for example, I highly recommend you at least try a barbell bench press, a dumbbell bench press, machine plate loaded press, or a machine cable press. This is going to introduce you to a wide variety of different movement patterns that are all going to stimulate the muscle in different ways. This is a great way for you to find out what it is you actually like doing, because when it comes to building strength, the most important ingredient is consistency. That means that we want to be able to continue going to the gym, doing the exact same workouts for long periods of time. That is where the real growth comes in. There's no shortcuts. The good news here is that because we can find things we like, it's a lot easier to stay motivated and to keep going once you find that thing you enjoy doing. So once you have the workouts identified that you want to be including, and remember, with our 6 movement patterns, we want to split these up into 3 separate workouts in A, B, and C that we ideally do either once a week or, if you're daring, twice a week for 6 total days in the gym. When you've got that identified, now it's time to start thinking about the rep scheme. Reps is something that is a massive debate. Even to this day, no one's really settled on a proper rep scheme. Here's the thing that you really need to know. When it comes to building muscle and strength, the most important ingredient is time under tension. We want our sets to last as close to 45 seconds to 1 minute as we can. Where does this come in with reps? Well, a lot of people have been told do 12 reps. That's the ideal range, but a lot of people don't really know why. 12 reps is really great because that means if each rep takes you 3 to 4 seconds, you're going to end up at that 45 seconds. But if you're able to just hammer them out, if you're done within 15-20 seconds, then going to 12 wasn't such a good idea. In fact, if you stop at 12 but you could have kept going, you're not really making good progress. When you get to 12, if you're making a set to 12, that 12th rep has to be so difficult that you could not possibly do a 13th rep. If you can, that means it's time to either go up in weight or make your sets take longer. Either of these are great approaches. As long as you remember, you really want each set to last 45 seconds to 1 minute. There's a lot of programs out there right now that are really pushing strong, heavy lifting. And this sounds like a great idea on the surface, but if you're doing exercises that are 3 to 5 reps, you're actually leaving a massive amount of hypertrophy on the table for the very primary reason that there's not that much time under tension. Sure, it's not easy to go and do a 405 deadlift. You might only be able to do 1, 2, 3 reps of that at the most after years of training. But that 1 rep of deadlift is still only maybe 3 or 4 seconds. So you build a lot of explosive strength, but you almost don't build any hypertrophy. And it's hypertrophy that makes our muscles larger. So if you're just starting things out and you want to build a program, what you really want to be doing is try to find a target range that you can do 12 to 15 reps, each rep taking you about 3 to 4 seconds to do. When we get to the end of a rep, we want to do a pause. So let's just say, for example, I'm doing a chest fly. When I come out to here, I want to stop at the end and hold that for about a 1/4 second to a 1/2 second before I return the weight. And while you're returning the weight, it's very important that you do not return the weight with gravity. What that means is you don't want to be going like that. If I'm returning the weight, I want to control it every inch of the way. Remember, I control the weight does not control me. So with that, I want to be pushing outward slowly, squeeze at the top, return the weight slowly. If you do it this way, you will be surprised that even lighter weights can become excruciatingly difficult after the 8th or 9th rep. Once you're about 30 to 35 seconds into a set, believe me, that weight is going to start to get very heavy. This is amazing. This is really good because it really goes a long way at preventing injuries. A majority of the time when there's an injury, it's because you do a hyperextension. And a hyperextension, it's going to be when the weight goes way back like that and pulls your muscle way further out than it's supposed to be. Well, how does this happen? Heavy weight. You see it all the time, especially with young guys in the gym. They go in and they lift really heavy, but they don't control the weight. It only takes one bad rep to tear your pec, and then you're done lifting for months. I don't train that way, and I don't want you guys to train that way. I want you to really take your time. Every rep should be controlled. Every rep should be intentional. We want to be intentional with our movements. We want to be intentional with our weight. So let's recap. When you're first starting out, you want to have 6 movement patterns. You've got your vertical push, your horizontal push, your vertical row, your horizontal row, your push from the legs, and your pull from the legs. After that, you pair them up and you've got 3 total workouts with 2 movement patterns each. With this scheme, you can get a lot of work done in 3 days. You go to the gym 6 days a week, you can run each muscle group twice a week for maximum results. This is an incredible way to get very strong very quickly, even as a beginner. Now, once you've done that, you really want to hone in on your rep schemes, 45 seconds to 1 minute. Reps are great, weight is great, but they're not as important as getting to that time under tension. The longer your set lasts, the better. With these things, you can start doing anything you like as long as it fits that movement pattern. Just remember, 6 movement patterns, you must be doing all 6 to get the most results. Whether you want to be doing this with body weight, calisthenics, barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells, all of these are actually really good options, and there's no perfect option. As long as you're getting these movement patterns down, you're going to make a lot of progress, especially as a beginner. If you want to get more advanced with it, down the line, you can incorporate things like drop sets. That's going to be when you cut the weight in half after you've done your set, and then you immediately do another set. You could also do supersets where you're going to complement 2 movement patterns together for one combined total set. Or you can get into very specific isolation work, which I'll go over those in another video down the road. But this is really just if you want to get started and you don't know what to do, build your own program, because by doing that, you're going to get a better understanding of how exercise works. Otherwise, you're just going to be following other people's programs without really understanding how they were put together in the first place. If you do it this way, you're going to make a ton of progress because you're going to understand what it is you're doing. And I want you guys to be knowledgeable, because knowledge is power. I want you to know a lot. So with that, guys, I'm going to leave this video here. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps. And if you're interested in online one-on-one coaching, check out my links below. You can get in contact with me, and I can start doing for you guys what I've done for myself. So with that, I'm going to leave this here. See you guys in the next one. Peace.